a follow-up. John remains in his search for key elements which we need for our life support systems. In the past, we've tried to locate titanium on other planets. We did try and actually did find some elements of this on the planet Psychon. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough of it that we could recover, so John has started an expedition on the lunar surface to find areas that have not as yet been located, and then determine whether or not any elements exist that perhaps we can mine out of the moon, and then acquire other elements as well for other sections of Alpha that need these elements. Titanium is not the only one. We also need some gold, which is very valuable, as you know, on Earth. Silver. We also need other elements that as yet we know we won't probably find here, but perhaps the International Lunar Commission could help us acquire those once the base becomes operational. The personnel as yet have not been sent, but as the roster is completed, they will be sent immediately to us. My own interpretation of what happens next after the personnel are sent is that I get John and myself off the base, try to get some perspective of what we want to do in our relationship. I must say that I've become very fond of John Koenig, as he of me, and though we are on the base as assistants to each other, we also have a deep affection and love for each other as well. And I don't want to remain on Alpha indefinitely until and at the time that the base becomes operational.
This is an update to an earlier message that I sent to you, Dr. Russell, to Tony, also to the commander. Your last communication indicated that he did get the facts of the upcoming dispersal of this nuclear waste attachment that's coming up to the base, and there will be some personnel who are maintenance workers who can help to move it into position and then bury it. We don't know what is going to happen when our stockpile in the Arctic and Antarctic explodes. If it does, we could be facing a breakaway ourselves. If the Earth's axis changes enough and then the gravitational pull is pulled out of the Earth from the sun, y'all could be facing major earthquake tremors on the moon. We would definitely be facing the potential that the Earth could be falling straight into the gravitational pull of the sun, which means we're moving out of our orbit and directly towards the sun. And that happens, then the Earth is doomed. There is no way we could ever get out of here. Not everybody. So these are the facts. These are the things that are going on right now on the Earth that have to be evaluated constantly to make sure that we're going to be in a better position than we are now to either try to evacuate the Earth of key high-ranking position people, to maintain the continuation of our race somewhere else if it comes to that. Moonbase Alpha is definitely a lifeboat option. We haven't given up on placing people there in conjunction with the personnel. This way they would have some family that could possibly be set to help them to cope with the stress that they're going to be dealing with. Because if all of this blows up in our face, we're going to have to know what is our next choice. What do we do next to try to maintain protection for the people that we send there and hope that we can get them back home safe before the moon either breaks apart or if it is blasted out of there. But it won't be because of anything you've done. It's going to be because the Earth is going to initiate this if those stockpiles in the Arctic regions go critical. So it's not a easy one-way house. It's not going to be a simple fix. Commissioner Rudinsky said the same thing to me, that we face potential danger beyond anything we've had, and we have to take the responsibility to do all we can to protect human life, to keep people in a position of safety where they're not going to be thrown out into outer space again, and we have no way to retrieve them or get them back home. So pray for us and keep us constantly updated if things change for the better or for the worst as far as what's going on, and we'll do everything we can to get a grasp of it before it just totally gets out of control. And I shall contact y'all again just a little later if things change after that. This is the International Lunar Commission spokesman, Mr. Carter. I'm advised of your recommendations and your overview analysis of the rousters that we'll need. The Commission has already done their early interpretation of personnel studies, and we've allocated approximately between 80 and 125 personnel to fill key positions on Alpha. Now, some of these individuals are going to probably group up and handle those same sections of maybe 1 or 2 or 3 on a rotating shift. This way, you got always somebody there watching the control panel. In the case of the nuclear generating areas, which is where all the power of the base is generated from the nuclear waste, your procedures before were very adequate. You kept the radiation safety limit very, very much at a safe level for everybody on the base. The only thing I can say, we probably won't be in a position to give you lots of extra help. If someone's assigned to that task, it might be one other person to help them move the cases of the nuclear waste that's coming, and hopefully most of your equipment that was moving it around will still function, so you won't have to put yourself in direct harm's way of this stuff getting out of control when you put it into operation. So we're just want to take that step by step, watch the procedure, know if there's anything that needs to be updated about that. But right now it looks like we have it pretty much understood that the radiation will be your primary means of power and energy for the base. And as long as all of the other systems continue to work as they always have, then we don't see a problem with the base going into full operation again. The personnel is key, though. They have to be enough on hand for the commander and for Dr. Russell to be able to start the system back up again, and that it continues on a continual basis thereafter. There's not going to be any downtime. I would say the systems as they were are still perfectly in good working order. We don't need to see ourselves upgrading anything, just so that the base can be of use to the commission and getting some higher levels of radiation material and getting it out of the Arctic and the Antarctic as soon as possible. Get it out, and then we can try to ease down the increasing indications of magnetic radiation we're seeing. And hopefully this can be resolved quickly. But some scientists have already said that it's a ticking time bomb, just like what happened on Moonbase Alpha. And if we take it and move it to Moonbase Alpha, it has to be moved in such a way where all of that stuff is going to be so far apart from each other, and it's not going to be in a massive pile that there will be no magnetic buildup like what happened 15 years ago. And as far as those facts are concerned, we feel that at this point in the equation, the safety precautions are carried out, and that includes wearing film badges that will help you to determine how much radiation you're receiving. Then I say there won't be any chance of any brain damage, psychotic episodes as you had before, and also be sure to wear lead shielded type radiation suits. Your normal space suits that you wear in the Eagles, they won't do it. They will not protect your body from the radiation coming from these canisters. And Dr. Russell has already advised me that the confirmation was it was magnetic radiation that was causing brain damage. Eventually the brain stopped functioning, and they were forced to kill all the men because all they were living on is life support. There was no brain activity. And we don't want that to happen this time, so we're not going to try and use anything that's going to potentially put at risk these men's minds, their lives, their safety. It's imperative that we keep safety as priority. So I still haven't heard from the commander. If he gets back from his geological survey of these elements and these minerals he's looking for, please try to get in touch with him and let me know that I still need some stats on maybe has he found anything that's even relevant to what the life support systems need. I'm having flack from the commission about getting these elements because, as you know, many of them are extremely expensive, very, very high-priced. Gold is definitely high-priced. I believe we did a check of it, and it was $300 an ounce. And silver is the same thing. Silver is actually in a restricted supply. The government here controls how much of it they will actually give to the general public. And if it's the government, they're going to make a lot of money. So they're not going to give you any chance to save money if you have to buy these things. Okay, you're not going to get help. So just bear with us, and we'll try to get what we can. I've thrown this idea at Maya. Can't we simulate or kind of synthesize an element that is basically material-wise, it's gold, it's silver, but it's not authentically the material?